Are you ready?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Little new intro for the people. I know national championship. Why are we switching stuff right at the end of the year? But you know what? Had to make some changes.
New season, new us.
Yeah. New season, new us. William, my friend, the 2025 season is over. I don't know if at the beginning of the year, if someone said Indiana was going to be our national champion, if I actually would have taken them seriously. I'm all in on Cignetti. I thought Cignetti was going to do great. I definitely thought Indiana was an 8-4 team this year, and boy, did they prove us wrong.
Yeah, I had them at 8-4 too, 9-3 best case scenario. I also had a lot of their counterparts on their schedule to be a lot better. A la Penn State. I thought they were going to be a significantly better football team than they were. I think everybody did. But hats off to Indiana, the first ever in the FBS and like the modern football era for a team to go 16-0. I don't think people realize how hard it is to go 12-0 in the regular season, win your conference game, and then win 3 straight in the playoffs. You're playing the top of the line. And Jake, let's remind everybody the last 4 games that Indiana played.
This was. I mean, you want to talk about deserving? That they deserved it after this. 4 games.
Ohio State, Alabama, Oregon, and then Miami. All those guys are blue bloods or have been blue bloods at some point. Not Oregon. Sorry, Oregon. You just got you got looped into. You're the clown with all the soldiers meme. But
you're talking about perennial contenders in all 4 of those programs any given year. Miami had a down era, but right now, I mean, Miami is back. But Indiana, you want to talk about the turnaround for Curt Cignetti. Just 2 years ago, they were a 3-9 program. 3-9. They had the most losses in FBS history. And then in the last 2 seasons, he has 2 losses. 1 to Ohio State, 1 to Notre Dame, and then a national championship. And a national championship over Miami.
The one to Notre Dame needed to have an asterisk next to it because they were playing with a quarterback with a broken thumb and a torn ACL and still only lost by 10.
Yeah, and it really felt like that Notre Dame game, like Cignetti learned a lot from that game. He learned what he needed to do the second time around.
Yeah, and we saw that when he, dropped his nuts essentially 2 plays in a row when it was crunch time. Had he not gone for it on 4th down twice in a row, 4th and 5, need I mind you, with a 3-point lead, Miami had all the momentum, and he decides, hey, we're not going to go play to go to overtime. We're not going to go play to lose by 1. We're going to go play to win this freaking thing. And by God, did they do it.
Oh, yeah. So Indiana obviously wins 27-21. I'm sure if you're listening to this, you know what happened. I'm sure you watched the game. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that anybody listening to this, I am recapping the game for you. Let's talk about the actual game, though. So Indiana is up 10-0 at halftime. What did you think of the Miami play calling in the first half?
I thought it was horrible. I thought it was absolutely horrible. I thought it. First off, they had 2 first downs in the first half, maybe less. And
they didn't convert a single 3rd down until towards the end of the 3rd quarter.
Right. It was horrendous. And I think the ending stat on 3rd down was 3 for 11. You're not winning ball games like that, buddy. They took care of the football. I'll give them that. The game came down to the last play. But the first half, I thought Shannon Dawson was horrendous on the mic. Horrendous. I mean, again, and this has been like kind of the theme throughout the entire playoff. Miami's in these dogfights, and they're not handing the ball off. They're not handing the ball off. And then when they do, Mark Fletcher for 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards, 12 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards. And then you're like, why don't they just continue running the football and just build their passing game off of the running game? But again, he refuses to do it. It didn't make any sense to me. And the second half, guess what they did, Jake?
They ran the ball with Fletcher, and he ate. Do you want to know my biggest gripe with the first half, especially with Shannon Dawson?
What's that?
So they go for it inside their own, what was it, the 34-yard line. They go for it on their own 34-yard line on 4th and 1 with 3.5 minutes left. Okay, you want to lay out your nuts on the line? Go for it. It's national championship. You know, they felt like they had to get a first down there because they hadn't moved the ball in any of the 3 previous drives. They went 5 plays, 3 plays, 3 plays, 3 plays. Like they knew they had to get a first down. They couldn't go 4 straight 3-and-outs. So you go for it. Get the first down. Great. My biggest issue is it's 4th and 2 at the Indiana 32-yard line with about a minute left. And you wait until basically no time and kick a field goal, and obviously you miss it. You have that kind of moxie to go for it on your own 35-yard line. But then you're on the opposing 32 with a kicker who has struggled in the playoff.
Yeah,
he has struggled in the playoff a lot. To put your kicker out there when I would have went for that. With a minute left in the half, that is an eternity in college football to go 30 yards. At minimum, I put my kicker in a better position to give myself an easy kick. 30 from the 32-yard line, a 50-yard kick in that kind of pressure, like it felt like he was destined to miss that. And that's one of my biggest issues is if they played more aggressive in the first half on that drive, I think they could have scored because they were starting to move the ball a little bit. And you wouldn't be able to use Fletcher with a minute left. But I think they could have found a way to at least make it more manageable. Now, granted, you got to convert on 4th down. You never know. But I think they would have converted. And you're looking at a different ball game if they come out. Imagine if it's 10-7 at halftime. They score with 2 seconds left on the clock. It's 10-7 at halftime. I mean, instead of going into the half of, well, got shut out in the first half, we got to come back and do something. We go with momentum. And then on the flip side, Indiana, what the heck are you doing with 33 seconds left? You run the ball, and then all of a sudden you decide that you're going to, sling a pass with 15 seconds on the clock. And then you get 3 seconds to do something. Like, you get 6 yards. If that's your chunk play you want, you had your timeouts. Call your timeout, and let's go. Let's go.
I think there was some sort of miscommunication on the sideline because you saw as soon as Cignetti looks up and sees there's 4 seconds left, 6 seconds left, he turns and starts just ripping this dude a new one right behind him. And that must be their clock guy. And the clock guy must have been watching the game. I don't know. And I want to say this too, Jake. I think this is the only team that would have beaten Miami in this playoff. After how I've seen Miami play in this playoff, I think Indiana is the only team that would have beaten them. I really do. I mean, the way they beat Ole Miss, the way they beat A&M, the way they beat Ohio State, very similar. But Indiana was the perfect team, and we talked about this last week. Indiana is built to beat Miami. However, what I did not account for,
I think if they played Ole Miss 10 times, I think Ole Miss would have gotten a couple of them.
They might have won 4, but I mean, Indiana is built in the trenches to win. Miami is built in the trenches to win. Those are the only 2 teams that have the most dominant trenches outside of maybe Texas Tech in this playoff. I mean, Oregon had pretty good trenches. Indiana dominated them. Mm-hmm. Texas Tech had pretty good trenches, and I wouldn't say Oregon dominated them. Texas Tech kind of peed down their own leg. Miami and Indiana had 2 of the best offensive lines and 2 of the best defensive lines in this playoff. And naturally they play against each other in the final. I mean, it shows you in this era of college football, you can throw money at whatever you want to throw money at. You can get the star quarterback. You can get this. You can get that. You better have a freaking offensive line, and you better have a freaking defensive line.
Yeah, it goes back to, a couple, 10, 15 years ago, it was all about how fast can you score. If you're scoring 45, 50 points a game, you have a potent offense. Now it's almost kind of come back a little bit to a little bit more old school. I mean, Mendoza threw the ball 27 times, but they ran the ball 45 times.
Yeah.
Beck threw the ball 32 times. Fletcher ran it 17 times. Indiana, they were looking at we have a Heisman Trophy quarterback, but our game is using Kalen Black and Roman Hemby. These guys are going to be the reason we win the game. The first half, though, it really felt like both teams were kind of feeling them out a little bit. I thought Indiana at times was trying to force too much of a run game, but also at the same time, Fernando Mendoza wasn't getting any time to run, to go through his progressions. And I think that was something that maybe caught Indiana off guard a little bit. I think they thought their offensive line would be able to hold back Mesidor and Bain better than they could because, Elijah Sherratt did not have a great game. He drops a fourth down pass.
Yeah, and that was a crucial fourth down pass that he
Yes.
should have caught. I mean, it was in his hands. He caught it twice and still dropped it.
Yeah. He actually almost caught it 3 times. He tipped it up to himself one more time. Like, Elijah Sherratt did not have a great game. Charlie Becker might be a literal god on comeback routes.
Yeah. I saw a stat today. He's more efficient on contested passes than Travis Hunter was last year. So he won contested passes 13 out of 18 times, whereas Travis Hunter was, I think, 9 for 17. And you think, I mean, it's just unbelievable. And to go back a second ago when you said, the game is won, like maybe a decade ago, you wanted to score as fast as you could, and that was the trend. Now we're winning in the trenches. Jake, when Indiana scored, all their scoring drives, 12 plays, 14 plays, 12 plays, 11 plays. They averaged 12 plays on their scoring drives.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of plays. On the drives they didn't score, 4 plays, 3 plays, 3 plays, 6 plays, 4 plays, 3 plays. They averaged 3.8 plays on those drives. So essentially 3 and out. If they couldn't get a first down, it was over. If they couldn't get 2 first downs, it was over. So this methodical brand of football, wearing out the defense, sustaining drives, beating you, being consistent. I mean, Indiana had opportunities to win this game bigger. Like you said, Elijah Sherratt drops a key. Was that a 3rd and long or was that a 4th down? Was it a 4th down?
I think.
It was a money down. It was either 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
So very uncharacteristic of him too. He's usually very sure-handed. But like you said, Charlie Becker was pretty much non-existent in the regular season. He had more catches and more yards in the playoffs than he did the entire regular season combined.
He had a big catch against Penn State. He had the game-sealing catch against Ohio State, and just absolute domination in the playoffs. I want to talk about the third quarter here. So Miami comes out, and I mean, it was all Miami in the third quarter. Absolute all Miami.
Yeah.
But they made one crucial mistake in the third quarter, and it probably cost them the game. It is the fact that they did not block well on that punt. And they allowed Indiana to score on a blocked punt because the upback just whiffs. Like, he just whiffs on Jones, who's running up through. Like, I don't know how in that moment you have, like, you just an effort play, it looked like.
Did he forget that his punter was a rugby-style punter? I mean, it's almost as if he felt like the guy was going to come straight to him.
Yeah.
And when he didn't, he was like,
the guy was going to engage him.
Yeah. So, like, hey, he's going to have to get between me to get to the guy because obviously the punter's behind me. Punter rolls out. So it's like, did he know that his punter was going to do a rugby kick? It seemed like he didn't, or he just had a brain fart.
Do you know Indiana had only 11 offensive yards in the third quarter?
Yeah, they were brutal. They were brutal until the last, I'm looking at their drives.
I mean, once you got to the fourth quarter, they started playing better.
Yeah.
They really had 2 drives. The third drive was them kneeling the ball out. But the fourth quarter, they had 12 plays, 75 yards, 11 plays, 58 yards. Like, they could not move the ball.
Third quarter, Indiana was 6 plays for 6 yards, 4 plays for 22 yards, 3 plays for -2 yards.
Okay, so I got that number wrong. But they had, 26 yards in the third quarter?
Oh, you were talking about the fourth quarter. Sorry. I was talking about the third quarter.
The third quarter, they had 26 total yards.
Yeah, horrible.
And without that blocked punt, I mean, Miami came out on fire. Indiana did nothing their first drive. Mark Fletcher busts one immediately on their drive. All of a sudden, it's 10-7, and Indiana's breathing room is gone. They punt it back away. Luckily, they get Miami to punt it away. It's not that. But all of a sudden, Miami's got the momentum after Mark Fletcher just busts a 60-yard run for a touchdown.
Yep.
So it felt like there was a little bit of a shift happening there in the third quarter, and without that blocked punt, I mean, Indiana doesn't win this game.
Well, and I want to pat myself on the back for a second. I said if Carson Beck had to throw the ball more than 28 times, that was the sweet spot. Because all throughout the season, that's when he started to struggle, was 28 times. He threw a pick in every game but 2 in which he threw the ball for 28 times. We said if they threw the ball more than 28 times, it was going to be a problem. His 30-second pass was the problem. It cost him the game. And we knew coming into this, you could not put this game on Carson Beck's shoulders. Had Shannon Dawson used Mark Fletcher the way he did in the second half, in the first half, it's a whole different conversation. We're maybe talking about what could have been with Indiana, and Miami's hoisting it up, and everybody's saying the U is back. So, and one thing I want to say too, Jake, before we go too far into this, by no means did Miami cost themselves this game by stupid things. It's not like one of these teams like that team was the better team, but they kind of pissed down their leg. These teams are very evenly matched. I thought this was one of the better national championships in terms of parity. There wasn't any luck plays. There wasn't any fumbles that bounced your way this way or that way. There wasn't any blown calls. I thought the referees did a phenomenal job of just letting them play. It wasn't a ref show. They didn't let penalties decide.
Yeah, I know people always want to go and highlight certain, here's a still shot of a hold. Here's a still shot of a pass interference. I don't enjoy when I see 200 yards worth of penalties.
Yeah. And honestly, there was a lot of there were still 12 penalties in the game. Mm-hmm. 7 for Miami, 5 for Indiana. But they weren't – you didn't see them blowing their whistle in these key moments. You saw them letting them play. I mean, there was a couple of times where D'Angelo Pons had his hands on the guy within 5 yards, and everybody was screaming, holding. I'm like, well, it's within 5 yards. They're hand fighting. Let him get after it. Fernando Mendoza gets popped a couple of times. Maybe it should have been called roughing the passer or targeting. I don't know. I'm glad they didn't call it.
Curt Cignetti sure did. He said at halftime that they missed 3 of them.
Yeah, on the same drive. And then naturally, you come out in the second half. Carson Beck gets annihilated. You think Miami, same old story, 15-yard penalty. They give them life, touchdown. From Mark Fletcher, I believe that was another Mark Fletcher touchdown drive. But it was nice to see the game was won on the field and not by Lady Luck and not by the stripes.
Speaking of the game being won on the field, so we have to go to the 4th down call in the 4th quarter. Indiana's drive.
Which one?
They're up 3. Like this, we got to talk about Fernando Mendoza. They're up 3 and it's 4th and 5. And I thought at that time it's smart to go for it because you look back on I look back at last year Ohio State versus Notre Dame. The game-winning play. It was not some sort of hey, let's just run the ball out. We're going to play to win this game. And the teams that more often than not in that situation that play to win the game end up winning it. If you play not to lose, I mean, we all know you typically end up losing that game. The fact that Miami came out afterwards and said, we should have called timeout. We had a good feeling they were going to run that play. They've run that. They've relied on Mendoza in that kind of situation before.
Well, Jake, they called the correct defense. Yeah. And Mendoza said that too. He said, we came out there and I was looking for 2 drop. I was looking for them to run a Tampa 2 where the middle linebacker is going to drop deep. He didn't do it. And he knew that before the play. And he goes, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go get this. And that could have gone horribly wrong. Instead, it's one of the most iconic plays in national championship history. I mean,
not just even Indiana. I put out last night that when they build Mendoza's statue in front of Memorial Stadium, it needs to be him diving into the end zone to win the national championship.
Absolutely, it does. But the first 4th down call was crazy. I mean, you're on Miami's 37, so you're Miami had all the momentum. If you don't get it, Miami's probably going to go score. And instead of going just for the 5 yards, you go for a 19-yard back shoulder catch to Charlie Becker, which was phenomenal. And I don't know if you watch that play, when Becker catches the ball, when he's coming down, you see him not only look the ball in, but then he looks to see where the grass is as he's coming down to make sure his elbow lands in bounds. So he's coming down, he sees, and in a split second, flips his elbow to make sure his elbow lands in bounds at first. The amount of awareness from that cat was just absolutely insane. That was one of the best plays I've seen in a long time in terms of situation, need and clutch factor and awareness, like that with body awareness, that was phenomenal. And I don't know if that guy is coming back to school. If he's not, or if he is, he's made himself a lot of money.
I believe he is. I mean, he's only a sophomore. I don't know if he's redshirt sophomore or what, but I know he definitely has eligibility left, and he put the whole Big Ten on notice with that one because he is going to be a top 5 receiver in the Big Ten next year. But that play and Mendoza's 4th down run, I mean, you want to talk about playing to go win that game. I mean, Indiana knew that they couldn't just wait around and hope their defense won them that game. They knew that they were going to have to score more points.
And Miami had figured out the defense. They had figured out the defense in the second half, and they started to take advantage of them. And but the moment never got too big for Indiana. You never saw them get rattled.
We never saw them that happen to them at all this year. Oregon, Ohio State, the Rose Bowl. Like, I had that concern when they, you beat Oregon. Okay, how high are you going to get? Okay, well, now you're playing the Big Ten Championship against Ohio State. Again, moment never got too big. Okay, well, you won that. Now you're in the Rose Bowl. Okay, moment never got too big. You're going to see Oregon again in the Peach Bowl. You start the game with a pick 6. The moment was never too big for anyone.
What I like too, Jake, is they weren't robotic about it. They were going into the game, it was just another game, but they celebrated it like it was huge, and then they moved on. And I think it's key. It's key to feel that, to feel how awesome it is, to give yourself a jolt for the next game. You see a lot of these players will come out there and robotically say, hey, that game's in the past, it's on to the next one, and you don't even give yourself an opportunity to enjoy it. Indiana had the perfect balance of enjoying it, but not getting high off of it and causing it to give them a hangover the next week. So hats off to Indiana. I mean, perfectly coached, perfect culture. I'm gushing over the Indiana Hoosiers right now in their football program. What Curt Cignetti has been able to do, Jake, I'd argue he's already thrust himself at least into the top 5 college football coaches of all time. I know that might be kind of hyperbolic.
I probably wouldn't go top 5 of all time now.
If he does this again next year, something similar, if he even makes the playoffs next year, Jake, what he's done with Indiana is absolutely insane.
Trust me, I hear you. It's also a very different element.
It's true. It's a different era. I'm
because you can build a roster in a single season now. You don't have to wait 2-3 years for your 25 guys to come in and develop them. You can go develop guys already.
They didn't go and get household names except for Fernando Mendoza.
Right. You're right. They didn't. But they did bring in guys that were, had been in the process of development. D'Angelo Pons was with him at JMU.
Yeah.
So he had D'Angelo Pons for multiple years. It's not like D'Angelo Pons, was at Indiana before he got there and then flipped that roster. Like, I don't know the exact number, but how many Indiana players that were there 3 years ago are currently on that roster? I know Carter Smith was, but how many other Indiana players? Because to me, that would make it even better.
Yeah.
Like, that's what 15 years ago guys had to do. You walk in, this is your team. You can't do the Deion Sanders be like, I got my Louis Vuitton coming, get out. Like, you can't do that. You couldn't do that 15 years ago.
But think about this, Jake.
Now,
if D'Angelo Pons walks into your office in shirts and shorts, you're not asking him to play football. He's 5'8", 170 pounds. Now, as soon as you turn the table on, that's a different story. But had Curt Cignetti not coached that cat at JMU, there's no way he's at Indiana. No way.
No. But I'm saying that a lot of these guys, like he had 7 players from JMU on his team. How many players came from other programs that had playing experience that either came up or came down? Like, I agree, he has done a phenomenal job. I'm saying he's not.
I got hyperbolic. I might have jumped the gun a little bit.
Like, because I can name Nick 5 head coaches all time that are better than Curt Cignetti right now.
Nick Saban's the GOAT.
Yes.
Curt Cignetti's number 2. Like,
I would even put Urban Meyer still above Curt Cignetti.
God, I don't want to hear that man's name. You're probably right.
Urban Meyer has 3 national championships.
Not Mac Jones.
Mac Brown?
Mac Brown. It has to be in the top 10.
I mean, Dabo's Joe Paterno, Bobby Paterno,
Joe Paterno, Bobby
Bowden.
Yep.
Bobby Bowden.
Joe Paterno, Bobby Bowden, Nick Saban, Dabo Swinney, Mac Brown. You have to have Dabo in there.
I get it.
Don't
Yeah,
you laugh
I
at
just
me?
think it's funny. I just think it's funny that you said
Woody
Hayes is on that list too.
Woody Hayes, old clothes on himself.
There's
Lou Holtz.
I'd like to know where Lou Holtz is right now.
Pete Carroll.
I was thinking Pete Carroll as well. He developed one of the best USC programs of all time. Like there are so many other names, Bo Schembechler. There are plenty of other names that are on here that
Bo Paggi.
You say Biff Poggi?
Oh, Biff Paggi. Sorry, I said Bo Paggi. Jimmy Johnson.
Curt Cignetti. Like I agree. Curt Cignetti is a top 3 head coach in college football right now.
Hey, don't yell at me. I already told. I got a little excited. You did.
You 100% did.
But you better have Dabo in your top 10 all time. You know what? Off season. This is an off season task. We're going to have to both have our top 10 coaches of all time.
That's
a good episode.
Like that. I think we can do something like that. The takeaway here. So I want to talk about takeaways for Indiana and takeaway for Miami because both of these teams deserve a lot of credit.
Yep.
My takeaway from Indiana is that they're not going anywhere. Like this, just because Fernando Mendoza, like I think Cignetti has built a strong enough culture and a strong enough program and infrastructure there that they're not going away. I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to win it all next year. I feel really good about them making the playoff again, though.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what they can do. I mean, they've already pulled some big names out of the portal. Not going to hurt when Josh Hoover's going to be throwing the ball to Nick Marsh.
Yeah, that for sure helps. And also, do you want to hear their schedule next year?
No, don't go to next year yet. Don't go to next year yet. Let me this.
I'm gonna read you the Big Ten teams on their schedule because you're already going to be saying that they're in the playoff. Washington, Rutgers, Nebraska, Michigan, USC, Purdue, Northwestern, Minnesota, then Ohio State.
Will Michigan have a quarterback coach?
Ooh, they might hire you.
Hey, I'll go coach a $10 million guy if he gives me a tip.
Yeah. Can I have 1% of your salary, please?
Yeah, we good, baby. 1%? No, I want 10%.
You want a full mill?
I want a mill. I'm gonna go out there and bust my tail.
He can afford it. What is your takeaway for Indiana?
I think Curt Cignetti has given us a blueprint. If I take my hype off, the guy that just said that Curt Cignetti is the top 10 coach of all time, I need to see them do this in high school recruiting too. Yeah, I don't see it being sustainable if you're just dipping into the portal every single year. His core is gone. His core will be gone, the JMU core. So what do you do now? Is the core still there? Is that culture strong enough to be able to dive into these transfer portal players along with these young guys coming up? There has to be a balance. Indiana hasn't quite broken the mold or the threshold in terms of high school recruiting. But you look at a Clemson this year who had one of the best talent groups in the entire country, and they were 7 and 6. And then you saw Penn State, same thing. So I don't know if that's the end all be all. They're dominating the portal. They do really well with that. I need to see them win in recruiting. I think that what you could take away from this is you cannot laugh at Indiana anymore. Nobody's going to laugh at them anymore. Nobody's going to overlook them anymore. They now have a big old bullseye on their back. They're not. It's not going to be cute anymore because after next year, people are going to start hating Curt Cignetti. People are going to start hating Indiana. They're going to get tired of seeing them win. That's what people do. They build up the underdog, and then they want to take them. They want to take them to the stake and burn them at the stake. So I need to see what this program does when they're not the beloved underdog. And I honestly, with how Curt Cignetti coached this entire year, the way he was able to control himself emotionally, control his players emotionally, I don't doubt he's going to be able to do that. But the biggest sign of success is what can you do to sustain it. Sustained success is the hardest thing to do in college football and anything, honestly.
Yeah, getting to the top is easier than staying at the top.
Yep.
Because
look at Ed Orgeron. Look at Gus Malzahn. Look at all these guys who go into a place, they win a national championship, and they're gone within 2 years.
Gene Chizik.
I always get Gene Chizik and Gus Malzahn confused. Am I the only one who does that?
Probably. But I think Indiana also, like you said, there's a blueprint where nobody can ever expect in year 2 of a program that is going through a massive rebuild to all of a sudden go 16-0 win a national championship.
Right.
But I think there is now a blueprint to success for how do we turn our program around so that way we don't have a 3 or 4 year rebuild. I also think coaches are going to be on a much shorter lease now. You're not going to get 4 years to prove that you can do it. If you don't have real success by the end of year 2, you might be gone.
Yeah. Curt Cignetti has created a unreal timeline for people.
Like, I'm going to throw Arkansas out there as an example. Arkansas, tough program to win at. Not definitely one of the harder SEC programs. If Ryan Silverfield goes out there and wins 3 games next year and 5 games the next year, they might be already saying, like, dude, you won 8 games in 2 years. Like, Curt Cignetti won 16 in his second year. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, and the problem is, like, what's the expectations? You take over expectations at Arkansas where the expectations were higher than they were at Indiana.
Yeah,
Indiana thought it was cute that he came into the pep rally and was saying all those things he was saying. So, yeah, okay, let's see you do that, Indiana. Boom.
The Indiana fans didn't even believe it to be real.
Right. So expectations have now been set by Indiana. And I mean, it depends on the program, but Arkansas, any SEC school, the expectations are sky high. Yeah. I mean, look at Auburn. I mean, I'm gonna be curious to see what Alex Golesh does. I mean, I believe in Alex Golesh. I think he's gonna do a phenomenal job. But I'm curious to see if he gets a leash. If he goes out there and wins 4 games next year after they just dumped, oh my gosh, Hugh Freeze. They might have him on a short leash. I don't know. He has set an unreal precedence in college football.
Yeah,
and so is Fernando Mendoza. You don't go get walk-ons and have them be Heisman Trophy winners and #1 overall picks. That's not the normal. These are the outliers.
This is an anomaly, not the standard. Anybody who looks at Indiana and goes, "Oh, well, why can't James Franklin turn Virginia Tech into a national championship contender in 2 years?" I'm sorry, that's just not going to happen. Why is West Virginia not a national championship contender in 2 years under Rich Rod? Like, it takes such an alignment of the stars for this to happen. You have to have the right infrastructure there. You have to have the right support from the university. You have to have the right coach. You got to have the right players. You have to have the right schedule. Like, there's a lot that has to go their way. If Indiana, for instance, last year, let's say they played a tougher schedule, went 8-4. I don't know if they have this kind of run because I don't know if there is quite the belief. Yeah. I think it might have taken Indiana to say, like, look, we are in the playoffs. We need the support now. If Indiana goes 8-4, it's like, okay, that's nice. Like, yeah, great, cool. We went 8-4. It's a really good season in our program's history.
So Curtis Rourke walked so Fernando Mendoza could run.
He did. He did. I think it took an alignment of the stars the right way. Like Indiana, we all joked about their schedule last year.
Hey, it was terrible. Can you put your tinfoil hat on real quick?
Yeah.
Did Curtis Rourke sacrifice his knee to allow Fernando Mendoza and hand to allow Fernando Mendoza to stay healthy all year?
Might have, but I think he did a really good job of keeping him safe.
I think Curt Cignetti used an actual live voodoo doll in Curtis Rourke and applied all the juju magic to Fernando Mendoza to keep him safe this year. You want to talk about cheating? This is the allegations right here you need to be riding with.
What is your biggest takeaway from Miami?
I think Mario Cristobal has finally created a contender. I don't think Miami's going away. Honestly, I think they would have been better without Carson Beck. I think they would have been a phenomenal football team had they got Fernando Mendoza. Turns out Fernando Mendoza was still interested in coming to your school, and you still.
I think I could name 20 quarterbacks I would have rather had than Carson Beck out there for them.
And you think about it, they probably go undefeated and win the national championship. They probably do the Indiana route if they had Fernando Mendoza.
Every game that they lost this year was because of Carson Beck's interception. Now, they didn't necessarily lose last night because of Carson Beck's interception, but
sealed the deal.
The game, you sealed it with the interception.
Sealed it with the kiss.
2 interceptions. Louisville, 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
Like in their 3 losses, he had 7 interceptions. That's not good. That's not good at all.
But you have Mark Fletcher coming back. You've got Malachi Tony coming back.
Supposedly, Mark Fletcher could go pro.
He could. I thought he had already he already said he was going to come back. But anyway, he could still go pro. I mean, honestly, as a running back, if you have the opportunity to go one of the first 2 rounds, you better go because tread on the tires is huge. But I think what Mario Cristobal has built there is going in the right direction. If I want to nitpick how Miami handled this situation, I thought the pressure got too big on him. You look at how Mario Cristobal handled like a lot of these interviews. He was like being cliche, almost unnaturally. Like some of the answers he was giving where he was just saying, it's all about the next one. It's all about the next one. Want to know. And like saying that in the semifinal game, like just over and over and over again, saying it in all these interviews over and over and over again, to the point where Scott Van Pelt's like, come on, dude, like let's give me an actual interview. Like I think he put so much pressure on himself that he lost who he was. And in this national championship, I thought he coached a hell of a game, but I think Mario Cristobal in the regular season, like you talked about, goes for it rather than kicks that field goal to end the half in the first half. I mean, you had time on the clock. Indiana didn't have. I think Indiana had 1 timeout at the time. You take the opportunity to go score a touchdown. It's a national freaking championship. And the difference between the killer instinct, Curt Cignetti had the killer instinct. Mario Cristobal did not. I think Mario Cristobal coached this game a little passive.
I mean, Cristobal, obviously a Miami alum. Do you think the factors of Miami, him being an alum, playing in Miami, do you think that even subconsciously impacted that? Because now all of a sudden you're in your hometown, you're practicing in your home facility, like you're staying at your house. Your guys are staying in their own place. Like you're doing all your media stuff, or they might be staying in a hotel, but like realistically, like you're home. You're basically at home the whole time. And I wonder if, they went to A&M, they went to the Cotton Bowl, they went to the Fiesta Bowl, like they've got in a routine, and then almost like, did they get out of that routine?
Yeah.
Because now all of a sudden you're basically playing a
too comfortable
home game.
Yeah, you're too comfortable.
But like the pressure on him, like you are trying to win your first national championship in 20 something years where you played and had success.
Yeah.
In front of your home fans, in front of, where you guys play on a consistent basis. Like, would they had more success if they played in Tampa, for instance?
I don't think so. I don't think it would have been that big of it. I think it was the moment more than it was the area. But I do see what you're saying. We talked about it last week. I thought if you have the opportunity, you should go stay in a hotel. You should treat it like a business trip. I mean, you should do just the normal business, the bowl activities, whatever you had to do. I mean, I don't know. And I think I figured out why Miami can't pack up their stadium. Those ticket prices were absurd. $3,000 for the cheapest ticket.
Those were resale, and there's only 200 left. The face value, some Indiana fans put it out there. Face value for Indiana fans to go was anywhere between $400 and $1,200 for a national championship ticket.
That's normal.
Which, like, I mean, full disclosure, I went last year and I paid $500 a ticket. 100% full disclosure. Which to me, like, if you look national championship, like it's not like you're going to watch them play a scrub team. If you pay a couple $100, like for Miami fans, it's a bargain. You don't even have to go anywhere. You're staying at home. Like you're not getting flights. You're not getting hotels. Like you're just there. Like,
hey, and I want to add one thing too. Talk about national championships and takeaways for Indiana. I want to back up just a little bit. Indiana fans, enjoy this. Drink it in. Celebrate it. Don't get fat and think it's going to happen again. Don't get fat and think that just because Curt Cignetti's there, that this is just going to be the normal. Winning a national championship, especially in this era where you have to win multiple games in the playoff to win the national championship, is not normal. It is not
it's very
a normal
hard
thing. It is a very difficult thing. Enjoy the hell out of this. Go to every parade. Get all the merch. Get the tchotchkes that you can put up in your man cave. It's cool. It's priceless. You will remember it forever. But don't sit there and think that don't sit there and feel now you're entitled because you have these people that are in this program that it can't fall away just like that. Trust me.
It can go away just as fast as it rises because let's say, for instance, if Curt Cignetti in 2 years decides, hey, I'm good. I'm ready to retire. I want to go spend time with my family. It is not going to be an easy replacement for him because
he could.
Cignetti's
and you know what? He was joking about it in his post-game press conference.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he is a football guy. He is going to coach until he can't coach. But also, at the same time, I mean, he's in his late 60s. It's not like he is a 51-year-old where you're going to get another 20 years out of him.
Right.
You're going to get another 5, 6, 7, 8 years out of him. Like when he's in his, at a certain point, though, the age also starts to work against you because then you have players that won't commit because they're like, well, when's he going to retire? Is he going to retire in a year? Is he going to leave in a year?
If I know Curt Cignetti, and like honestly, like listening to the interview of Nick Saban and how Curt Cignetti coaches, he coaches like Nick Saban, which means whoever's there, he's got a backup plan. He's coaching his coaches to be better coaches.
Yeah, but also Nick Saban didn't leave a successor at Alabama.
Yeah. I have some thoughts on that, but we don't need to talk about that here.
All right.
At least not today.
Couple closing thoughts here. Does the Big Ten run college football right now?
I mean, you can't. How are you going to argue it?
I don't think there really is a way to argue. The last 3 national champions are Big Ten teams in the last 2 years.
The last 2 years, it's been the Big Ten versus the ACC. I know Notre Dame's not the ACC, but they're the ACC.
They're a makeshift ACC team.
So, is the ACC the second best conference?
Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. Duke won your conference championship this year.
That tells you how deep we are. Our third best team made it to the semifinals.
Didn't they have like 7 losses this year?
It doesn't matter. Our third best team made it to the semifinals. Numbers don't lie, Jake.
Numbers 1 and 2 were MIA. Don't really know where they ended up. I don't even know if Duke won their bowl game, I'll be honest.
Couldn't tell you.
I kind of hope they lost.
Oh, they did. They won. That was the iconic picture of Quavion Queso jumping into the Kellogg's bowl or whatever.
Yes. Second thing, I know it's early. If you were to highlight a team for 2026 that hasn't been talked about, and no, you can't say Clemson.
Oh, well.
That you think could make a serious leap to the playoff next year. We're not going to try to sit here and project the underdog team to make a national championship.
Jake, I've got one cooking already.
Oh, boy.
I've got one I've been stewing on. Go ahead. I want you to finish your thoughts.
But a team that is either going to make a significant run or a team that's just under the radar that is going to make the playoff, like who are you looking at?
So 2 years ago, I said 2 football seasons ago, so not last season, but the season before, I said Indiana was going to be my dark horse. I thought they were going to be phenomenal. I thought they were going to win 9 games.
Yep.
They were really good.
That
was Big Ten. Last year, I said Virginia was going to win 9 games. Man, they turned around and won 10 or 11. So, and that was ACC. This year, I'm going to the Big 12, Jake. You know where I'm going? Do you know where I'm going? I'm going to Stillwater.
I have a Big 12 team, but I don't know if it's the same one as you.
I'm going to Stillwater. I honestly think that Oklahoma State is going to be a dark horse to at least make the playoffs next year. Now, I'm looking at their schedule. Tulsa, Oregon, Murray State, Arizona State, Houston, Iowa State, Kansas State, Colorado, Texas Tech, Kansas, UCF, and West Virginia. It is not the easiest schedule. Oregon's going to be difficult. Iowa State's always difficult, but you don't have Matt Campbell there, so I really don't know.
Matt Campbell's not there anymore, so.
Right. Arizona State doesn't have Sam Leavitt anymore. Texas Tech, I think Texas Tech's going to be a solid football team. I'm never going to say anything bad about my Jayhawks, so they're going to be a tough team to beat. But I think that the team that Eric Morris and company is building with Drew Mestemaker and some of those other portal guys they've pulled in. But yeah, Oklahoma State is my team for next year.
So I actually have a Big 10 team or a Big 12 team as well. This team flew under the radar this year. I don't think people realize that this team won 9 games this past year.
You're going with the Arizona Wildcats, aren't you?
I am going with the Arizona Wildcats. They lost to SMU in the postseason, but I don't think people realize how good they were this year. They were mighty close to contending for a Big 12 championship. They got blown out by Iowa State, a 6-point loss to BYU, and a 3-point loss to Houston in the regular season. I mean, they were a touchdown away from being 11-1 this past year. And guess what? Noah Fafita is back again, baby.
That is phenomenal. And then listen to this. You tell me when you get scared. Northern Arizona Lumberjacks.
No, that one's
Northern Illinois Huskies. You're not Notre Dame, so you're good.
Yeah, we're
Washington State.
Brand new team. We got them.
Arizona State.
No Sam Levitt. We'll see what happens there.
Utah.
That's
Al Whittingham's gone.
Yeah, but Devin Dampier's back, and they got Morgan Scalley running it. I think they're still going to be a good program.
TCU.
Josh Hoover's gone. I'm not super scared about that one.
Iowa State.
Talked about him. No Matt Campbell.
Cincinnati.
No Rocco Beck either. Cincinnati. No, Brendan Sorsby's gone, and so is a lot of their key players from this past year.
BYU.
That's a tough one. At BYU, Bear Bachmeier another year. That's going to be I'm going to circle that with an L already.
Texas Tech.
That's a tough game.
Oh, I skipped Kansas State. Sorry.
Kansas State's a difficult one, but not unwinnable for sure.
Yeah, West Virginia.
They should win that. We'll see. West Virginia could be a fun team next year. We'll see. I hope Rich Rod takes the jump in year 2, but Arizona, 10-2 is definitely in the possibility. I think that they were building something. They quietly went under the radar. Nobody knows that they went 9-4 this past year. Nobody knows. I think Arizona could be a team to watch out for to make a run to the playoffs next year.
I love that.
Well, is there any other takeaways that you want to talk about for this season?
Jake, I want to thank you. I want to thank everyone who listens. This has been the most fun we've had, I think, since starting this podcast. We got to go to Kansas this year. We got to go to Clemson. We went to Ohio State last year. We got to do some really cool things this year. Have some cool sponsors, Gridiron Spice. I'm forgetting our fantasy football one. Why is it slipping my mind right now? We had some really cool opportunities this year, Jake. And I just thank y'all so much for listening, tuning into our content on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. This has been like just a phenomenal season. Football is the best sport on the entire planet. No matter what happens in the offseason with this NIL and transfer portal and all that stuff, all those horrible things that are going on in our sport does not take away from the product that we get to see on Saturdays at noon. And this still is the most beautiful sport in the world. It'll always be the most beautiful sport in the world. I love watching it. I love looking forward to August every single year. I get depressed every time we get to January when it's over. This is just I can't say enough great things about football. It's changed my life in so many ways. This podcast is now adding to that. So, Jake, wanted to thank you. Wanted to thank everyone at the Walk-On Redshirts. Wanted to thank everyone who listens. Need I say you are fans, our 5-star fans? This is just – it's been a wild ride. 2025 was a wild, wild ride.
Yeah, it was. It was. I think it was our best year yet. We did a lot of great stuff this year. We did a lot of cool content. YouTube channel has taken off recently. If you're not doing so, make sure to go subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are going to take a short hiatus. I'm going on vacation. That is the whole reason we're not shutting down. I'm just taking a vacation and unplugging my brain for a little while. Plan this specifically around the national championship, though. 100% planned it around that.
Good call.
I was going to go on vacation after the national championship, not when it happened, just in case Ohio State played for it. That was the main reason.
Let me give it a little peel behind the curtain, too. You want to talk about someone who works their ass off? Jake edits the podcast, posts the podcast, edits and publishes every single article that goes out into the Walk-On Redshirts, writes his own articles, writes his own tweets. I mean, the amount of work that you put into this thing, you better freaking take 2 weeks off, and you better put your phone away. Like, you just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Go to
there'll be some tweets. Don't worry. There'll be some tweets out there.
You cannot tweet until you've had at least 2 Mai Tais out in Hawaii.
Might do that in the airport.
That's your rule. You need 2 drinks in your body before you alcoholic drinks in your body before you start tweeting.
That could make for some fun conversations.
I want you to go into Big Ten Twitter after you've had 2 drinks. Go find some Penn State people, go find some Michigan people, and just get after it.
I can do that.
Can't wait.
With that being said, we really appreciate, like Will said, everybody tuning in this past year. It's been a great year. It was a super fun season, obviously a historic one with Indiana capping off as a national champion. If you're not doing so already, make sure to go follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, wherever you get your college football content. Make
TikTok.
sure you subscribe to us. TikTok, again, YouTube. Go help us out there. We have gained like 200 followers in the last couple of weeks. It's been crazy. Go check out the walkonredshirts.com. There was 2 great pieces about what Indiana and what Miami meant to winning the for them to win the national championship.
Yep.
I'm hopefully going to get a piece up while I'm sitting on a plane going to Hawaii. I think there's Wi-Fi. I'm going to try to put it up while I'm.
You're going to get your piece up, and you're going to get your piece up on a plane.
Yeah. I don't know if that's legal or not, but we're going to try.
They have a name for
With that being said, really appreciate everybody. We'll be back again here in a couple of weeks after I get back from vacation. We're going to have like a 3-week hiatus, and then we'll be back on. We'll see everybody again here soon. But if you are, you can go watch Will's Clemson podcast.
Inside the Valley. We're doing some film reviews.
Go check out Inside the Valley.